Get out the system.
Hey, good morning, Knots Racing.
Hi, Sue Ellen.
Good morning, Sue Ellen.
Hey, thanks for having us, eh?
Yeah, you're welcome. So it's an absolute pleasure to have you guys along today on Saturday, the 18th of April. What day are we in lockdown now? Day 20, 22?
Too long.
23?
I've lost count, Sue Ellen.
Yeah.
Driving us all insane.
All right. Well, I reckon we kick off the morning by playing one of the videos that we created when we were over in Medemblik at the M32 series. What do you reckon?
How good?
Sounds
Give it
good.
a go.
Bring back some memories, hey?
Blast from the past.
It's actually pretty cool. Let's all right, let's get this thing going. We'll actually start from the start though.
Oh, there's too many close-ups in this video, eh?
So many close-ups in this particular video. All right, here we go, lads. Here we go.
Safety never sleeps.
4, 3, 2, 1. 4 minutes. Inside 1 minute.
Kind of look like you know what's going on.
So weird. Awesome. Heaps of fun. It was really tricky though in the light stuff. We were struggling for speed a little bit, but once the breeze came back up, we were pretty comfy and managed to get a couple good ones in at the end. So super stoked.
Oh, so good, so good. Especially when the breeze comes on, they just take off. So much power, it's great.
Yeah.
A lot of good fun.
Good breeze. Can't ask for much more.
It's been a good day, a lot of fun.
Okay, I have no clue if my camera is going to survive what I just endured on board the M32 with Knots Racing. My camera is saturated. They had a great day, but it's so worth it. You can always buy new gear, but you can't buy this shit.
Am I going to start? Okay, so today was a pretty awesome day for conditions. Big waves and building throughout the day. Wind was slowly moving around to the left. We made a few mistakes with our starts and it didn't really give us the opportunity to be contending at the front as much. But in the last one we had a real awesome start. Unfortunately, we were just this tiniest fraction over and had to take the penalty, which in this class is to drop to the back of the fleet. We fought back and got really back into contention coming into the last top mark, but then a fraction off on the ley line meant that we dropped back into 5th place. Really excited about everything that we've learned and how much fun we're having with the boat, and looking forward to sending it tomorrow.
Not bad there. Like nice little bit of commentary at the end there, Sammy B.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of close-ups there, Sue Ellen.
Yeah, the close-ups are good, I reckon. You gotta have a good close-up every now and then, don't you reckon?
Oh yeah, really shows the personality.
It's a bit of time here in makeup though.
We've actually we've managed to have a bit of fun as a team, especially over the last 12 months. I mean, I know you guys have been established now for a little bit longer, So Nick, tell us how the team came to be.
Well, it was about 2 years ago. I'd recently just gotten out of the 49er and was looking to get into match racing, and just hit up some of my closest friends. If we just wanted to start a match racing team together and see how it'd get along, and we started off just trying to compete domestically within New Zealand. Ended up winning the Youth Worlds trials a couple of years ago, which meant we got to go off to Italy, compete in the Youth Worlds. So that's really what kick-started it, I guess. And we've been sailing together ever since and become the best of mates. So just awesome.
So how did you actually go to deciding who those close mates were that you were going to sail with?
I guess the big part of it for us was just mainly focused on who is going to work well in a team in the long term. It's not necessarily based off sailing skills, but it's more important to be able to just keep sailing together as a team and get on well and just have the potential to keep going in the future.
So we know that Nick, you are the helm of the team of Knots Racing. So do you want to introduce the rest of your lads there?
Yeah, so I'm not sure what order it is on your guys' screen, but we've got Bradley McLaughlin. He does the bow.
Give us away, Bradley.
There he is. Zach Murden, he trims. And we've got Sammy B. He does the main, the guy with the beard.
All right. So I guess we'll start with you, Bradley. When EJ asked you to sail on his team, it must have been a pretty special moment in your sailing career.
No, it was, so Ellen. I'd done a little bit of sailing with EJ once or twice before with other people, and I'd sailed with Sam and Zach with James Wilson at the Harkin Youth International, and when he hit me up to sail with us as a four, I was pretty stoked because I enjoyed sailing with Sam and Zach when we sailed together with James, and I kind of knew that Nick was pretty handy at his steering and had a pretty good mindset as far as him wanting to go pretty far with it. So yeah, it was pretty exciting, and I've enjoyed it ever since.
Nice one. And Zach and Sam, you guys have known each other from way back. Zach, give us a bit of an introduction on your sailing with Sam and how you basically have stayed together all this time.
Yeah, so back in, I think it was year 11 at high school, so I was at 15 or 16 or something, Sam moved to Tauranga where I grew up, and he had this 420 boat, and he asked me to sail with him eventually, and I said, yeah, why not, give it a crack, and we started sailing 420, we went on to do the 470, had loads of fun, did loads of cool things, and got some good results at times, and yeah, stuck together ever since then, really.
So Sam, go into a little bit more detail. You and Zach sort of went on and did a little bit more sailing in 420, right?
Yeah, so we had a great time sailing together. Now we managed to go to the Youth Worlds in the 420 a couple of times, and into the 470 after we kind of aged out of school and youth classes, and did 2 or 3 years campaigning that. And Nick's mother actually was our coach in the 470, so a cool little tie-in, and we had a great time working with Leslie, and then grew out of the boat. Both of us got too big to sail 470s, and so my little brother was doing the youth program at the squadron and decided to go and join. And after the first session, I thought it was so cool, I gave Zach a call and said, hey, you might want to try this, come down next time. And then we both started really enjoying it, and got selected by Ruben to sail with Bradley and with Jimmy for the Harkin Youth International, and then after that we've been teammates again ever since.
You guys must enjoy hanging out a lot together because you're always together.
Yeah, I think you spend enough time sailing together, you just become the best of mates. Even when we're not sailing together, we go surfing together, or we hang out off the water and tell yarns, and yeah.
So it's like it's a proper bromance amongst you guys then, right?
It's a 4-way marriage, I think we've come to describe it as.
There's something like that, isn't it? It feels that way
Husbands.
sometimes, that's for sure.
See it behind the scenes.
So Nick, not everyone knows the origin of the name Knots Racing, and it has kind of become a bit of a giggle and a bit of a yarn in itself. So, I mean, do you want to explain how Knots Racing came to be? Would you prefer one of the boys to actually tell the story?
I might get Sammy to explain the story for this one. I might pass it off to Sammy.
Sammy, chalk it up a bit, all right?
All right. So yeah, we've just started sailing together. It's our first training session sailing bigger boats. We're sailing an MRX, and we've got us four and Dingo on board. And we're just yarning about what kind of names we should come up with. We came up with a few terrible ones. And my head was kind of thinking through acronyms, and decided on, we ended up becoming KNOTS, KNOTS, as in King Nick on the stick, as he's the helmsman. And it was incredibly stupid, and everyone on the boat just kind of thought it would die then and there, or by the time we got in. But somehow it just stayed alive long enough to have a Facebook page started up, and we've stuck with that ever since.
So
So
for
we are
those
looking
that
for a
didn't hear
naming
that
rights
properly,
sponsor.
yeah. So for those that didn't hear that properly, Knots Racing stands for King Nick on the stick. Seriously.
I thought it was a bit of a joke, and then Nick made the Facebook page. I was like,
I really,
okay, that's the
I really
name. Then.
I really like that you've gone. You've got this like silly yet quite hilarious name, Knots Racing, King Nick on the stick. Yet you've got this beautiful stylized logo of a beautiful knot. So yeah, Bradley's wearing it there. Hey, look, a couple of quick little questions that have just popped up already, which is a good sign that this is going to be quite a hilarious little chit chat. Somebody that we all know quite well, Delzy from Royal New Zealand Yacht Squadron. Hey, Nick Egnott Johnson, how did you get so darn good looking? You've been doing a series of workouts, haven't you?
I mean, I don't know. I guess I just got it from my father.
This is going to be a long live stream, Sir Alan.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But EJ, you have said that you've been working out a fair bit, trying to get yourself in peak performance. I can't even find the word. It's Saturday morning. We shouldn't be doing this. Because you and Zach have been shortlisted for the Squadron's Youth America's Cup team.
Yeah, exactly. So what a cool opportunity that is. And I think that one of the main forms of testing that they're going to be doing is fitness testing. So both Zach and I have both been using this lockdown almost to our advantage, and we've just been smashing the workouts each day, trying to just get ourselves in the best shape for it. So I think that's going to be hugely important in the Youth America's Cup boats. Yeah,
definitely. Zach, how does it for you to have an opportunity of potentially being on a team for the Youth America's Cup?
Yeah, it's a huge honour even to just get to this stage. I mean, it just would mean everything. It's been a goal since I was quite young, for many years, and it's quite lucky having this lockdown. I've got a really nice setup with my gym and things here, so a little squat rack and things. So yeah, all to play for.
Good stuff. So you guys have all gone through the Royal New Zealand Yacht Squadron Youth Training Program. Start with you, Bradley. So what opportunities as being part of that program, what opportunities has that created for you?
Yeah, no, the program's been great. First of all, as we said earlier, our first opportunity for me was to go to Sydney and compete in the Harkin Youth International with Sam, Zach, and James Wilson. And that was kind of my first. I'd done a little bit of match racing up in the UK and other few things, not quite as serious. And so it was kind of my first seriously campaign match racing regatta with the squadron. And so it's given us a real good opportunity to go to all the top youth events and come in with reasonably high ranked teams. And I think Ruben Corbett and Laurie and those guys have done a great job at helping boost up the rankings of the skippers so that we can come in pretty strong. And, there's a good bunch of guys to train against. So yeah, good regattas. It's given us great opportunities to train against real good people. We train against Jordan Stevenson, who I think he's top 10 at the moment in the world rankings too. We've also been able to go to the China Cup, start in Hong Kong and then end up in Shenzhen in China, racing the 40.7s as a squad. And so it's been quite good to go and do all the youth international stuff, a few of the other big regattas with some bigger teams that go and charter boats there. And of course the Warren Jones and the all the other events we do as a team. So without the squadron, we wouldn't be a team together. So yeah, big shout out to those guys.
You guys, Nick, Zach, and Sam, you guys have to agree with that, right?
Oh, fully. Yeah, Squadron's been amazing with helping us get through the stage of youth match racing and transitioning into being able to go to bigger events overseas. So they've been awesome.
Speaking of some of those events, this time last year, we all just got back from America for the Congressional Cup, which was a pretty outstanding week of sailing. Nick, what was that like for you being on that international world stage, broadcast around the world, and going up against the likes of, Taylor Canfield, Ian Williams, Scotty Dixon, who's also a local favorite there. For you as a skipper taking that on, what was that like?
Yeah, it was just such an amazing opportunity to go to the Congressional Cup last year, I guess. The way I really learned match racing was actually from watching YouTube videos of all the guys like Ian Williams, Taylor Canfield, Johnny Burnson, all in the match racing tour. And then to actually be just on the first day of racing, just to be out there lined up against them, it was just a mind-blowing moment. Just like, whoa, we're actually competing against these guys. And then on the first day, we actually racked up a win against Ian Williams, which we just did not think was at all possible. We were just going there to learn as much as we could, but realized that we were on the same kind of ladder rung as these guys who'd been doing it for ages. We were just so stoked. So it was awesome.
It was pretty good to see, watching firsthand and seeing you guys cross that line in front of Ian Williams. I mean, everyone was like from where I was, everyone was like, holy shiver McTimbers, did those kids just really beat Ian Williams? And I'm like, yep. So it was pretty cool. I mean, Zach, that whole regatta for you and the sailing side, being there in America racing as part of the Con Cup was pretty cool, right?
Yeah, just like Nick said, we'd been watching the regatta on YouTube for ages, and to be there amongst it, it's really something else. The locals all get behind it. I mean, you talked about standing on the pier. There would have been, how many people up on that pier? Hundreds.
Hundreds and hundreds of people. Yeah. It's
unreal. And they put on events for you almost every night, and they just make a big fuss about it. It's like you're a big time athlete, so it's quite cool.
Big time athlete, you're just a bunch of sailors, right?
Well, yeah, the sailing community is quite small, so it's quite easy to think that,
So we it was pretty cool to go over there and sort of document, you guys at the Congressional Cup. And we actually there is a series on our YouTube channel of all of the videos of the Congressional Cup. We won't play them here because some of them go for a bit longer than a normal little video. But if anyone wants to watch Knots racing at the Congressional Cup, feel free to jump on our YouTube channel. Now, guys, there's a few little comments coming through about the new looks that some of you are showcasing here, and a special mention is obviously going to Bradley and to Zach on what's been called Covember.
COVID-19.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Bradley, for you, I mean, why the additional facial hair for you?
Yeah, well, look, I've never really been able to grow a moustache. I'm not going to lie. I thought I'd use this time of lockdown to see how much of an idiot I look like. Not realizing that at the end of near to the end of the lockdown, I was going to go live on Facebook. So yeah, thanks for that, Sue Ellen. And but yeah,
you do own a razor, don't you? You could have got rid of it before.
Yeah. Oh, it's gonna. I can see why people keep the moustaches now. Though, to be honest, it's become a part of me, and no, I quite enjoy it. Yeah, it's part of the personality, and I'm surprised Sammy didn't put a moustache on himself, because he grows a cracking mo. But yeah, no, it'll probably have to go at the end of the lockdown, to be honest. Not sure it's the coolest look, to be honest, but I'm enjoying it. It's great.
We're not really sure what your lovely girlfriend Celia thinks of it either yet, so it's probably lucky that you guys aren't sharing a lockdown bubble.
Yeah, that's why I said it's probably going to have to go. Don't think she's going to like the moustache. And I look like enough of an idiot as it is normally. So yeah.
EJ, we see that you're kind of struggling with the facial hair that's going on here. You're not part of the Covember campaign?
Nah, not at all. I had one going, but as soon as I saw the ginger hair starting to poke through, I'm like, well, this is coming straight off. So got rid of it.
Don't worry, mate. Mine's going grey.
Actually, speaking of lockdown, it's obviously been a real interesting time for all of us. Guys, just like go around and just let everybody know where you are in this lockdown. Start again with you, Bradley.
Yeah, I'm still in Auckland, embracing it. I've fortunately managed to get myself a job at the at New World Birkenhead, thanks to Steve Purton.
Well, actually, funny you should mention that. Let's just show that there.
Yeah, there he is.
Look at that
I think that was day 2 of work. You know, being the new boy, it's not easy.
So you've gone from servicing winches to stocking shelves.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a change in my life, to be honest. Been fortunate to drive the delivery van now, though, so I'm enjoying that, delivering the retired people's groceries. It's always a perk.
So one thing I need to ask. One thing I need to ask is, have you dyed your hair?
Some people have said that. No, I actually haven't. I think it's just my flatmates. We all gave each other haircuts day 1 of the lockdown, and we were too scared to cut the tops off. And I think that that's probably the longest the top of my hair's been, and it's goes a little bit blonde in the sun. So yeah, no hair dye there, unfortunately, for you guys.
Good stuff. What about you, Nick? Where are you based in lockdown?
I'm out at my family's house out in Coatesville, Auckland. Just riding it out here. It's a pretty good spot for it, actually. Lots of space to run around, and yeah, it's good.
Do you just like go out into the field and just run around?
Yeah, chase the sheep, chase the pukekos. Lots of stuff to do.
All right, Zach, where are you?
Yeah, no, I'm pretty fortunate too. I'm moved down to Tauranga with my family. So my brother and his girlfriend are here, my parents, and yeah, it's just good bonding time as well. Making the most of that.
Cool. Sammy, where are you?
I'm lucky enough to be up in Dairy Flats, staying with my girlfriend Hannah and her family on the farm. Yeah, we've made a pretty cool running track out across the property, and yeah, I've been enjoying lockdown. Got a nice swimming pool, so happy as.
Nice. Hey, so just going back to the sailing side of it all, Bradley, you obviously don't sound like you're from New Zealand. You sound like you're from England. And there's just been a little comment that's come through from a guy named Matthew Hannaby saying, Brad, you don't sound like you're a Cows boy anymore. So tell us a little bit about where you're from.
Yeah, I'm born and raised on the Isle of Wight, the mighty God's Island, as I like to call it. Moved over to New Zealand 3 years ago. I'm glad you picked up on the fact that I still sound English to Ellen, because all my friends back home seem to think I sound like a Kiwi now.
I don't know. No. Should we do it? Like, I don't know. Do you guys reckon he sounds like a Kiwi? I don't reckon he sounds like a Kiwi.
I can't hear his British accent anymore.
Really?
Seriously?
No,
mate, come on. Don't be like that. No, I'm proud Englishman. So yeah,
we'll keep working on him.
So Bradley, and you've actually done a little bit of other pro sailing. Give us a bit of a yarn about your time in the 52 Super Series on a boat called Gladiator.
Yeah, no, I've been real lucky the last couple of years. I've fortunate to grow up on the Isle of Wight, where Tom Wilson, the project manager from Gladiator, lives, and got to know him pretty young, and got given the opportunity to go and nipper for the team full time before I moved to New Zealand. And then a couple of years back, they invited me back to go and do mid-bow for them. It's been a real cool experience to sail with some legends. It's been, yeah, you learn a lot from the older fellas in the industry, and the way that the professional world works. It's been really cool. I've learned heaps, and they look out for me. Being the youngest, you cop a little bit of stick, but that's all part of it, I guess. But yeah, no, it's been cool. I've been doing the Super Series the last 2 years. Unfortunately, we're not gonna race this year. Obviously, COVID-19's not helped that either. But yeah, no, it's been really cool to go and sail with the Gladiator, and thanks to Tom and Tony Langley, the owner, for the awesome opportunity. It's been awesome. So
EJ, Zach and Sam, what other really cool opportunities have you found that have come your way from being part of the youth program at Royal New Zealand Yacht Squadron?
I guess the main one for us last year and the year before was actually getting time to sail on the NACRA 20s that they've got sitting down at the club there. Basically, they're just foiling catamarans, and awesome tool for learning how to foil sail, which is, I think, where sailing is going at this current rate, especially where what we're seeing in the America's Cup these days. So I think that's been an awesome opportunity, just trying to get those skills, because it's actually really hard to come across foiling boats and be able to get time spent in them before going to the big time. So yeah, it's an awesome tool.
Yeah, we've seen you guys go out there, sail them really well, and obviously crash even better. But you guys have all also taken part in what is known as some of the best classic yacht racing in the world, the Stuart 34 Championship Series, which we live stream. And EJ, you've sat down next to me and have been co-commentator. So guys, I mean, sailing those classic Stuart 34s, come on, let's talk it up. Give it a rundown. Tell the audience how cool Stuart 34 racing is and why you guys love it and what you've benefited from it.
Yeah, so we've had a great time the most recent season. All of us have been out racing on the Stuarts. Zach and I have been on the Princess, and Bradley and Nick on Psyche when Nick's not commentating. And they're really cool boats. It's like 15 or 10, 12 boats out each Monday night, and some pretty aggressive racing goes on for boats that are actually 50, 60 years old. Pretty heavy and difficult to maneuver, but that doesn't stop the owners from pushing them into tight places. The setup with the braces and sheets is actually quite similar to the Congressional Cup boats. So one kind of cool thing about building a relationship with these owners and racing with them every week is that we've had the opportunity to go out and do some training sessions as well and prepare for the next Congressional Cup or the next Vicar Cup. And yeah, just got to meet some real cool kind of salt of the earth yachties at the squadron as well. It's been a great experience for us.
I reckon Stuart 34 sailing is some of the best racing that I've ever watched or commentated and experienced. Yeah, I mean, you guys would have to agree to a certain extent, right?
Yeah.
You've let Nick off pretty lightly as far as his Stuart 34 career goes, Sue Ellen.
We really have, haven't we? And I'm actually, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. I'm definitely just scrolling through now to have to see if I can find that video of Nick absolutely having one and not just picking up the top mark once and dragging it like a mile down the harbour, but actually picking it up twice, and not just one top mark, but the offset mark as well. I mean, Nick, that just takes skill set to a whole new level.
It does, eh? Really highlights your weaknesses, those boats.
I think you've got to mention here as well that the day that Nick did pick up both these marks, that he also made Paul Groom, the owner of the boat, and myself jump in to untangle the marks off our rudder. So I think a shout out to Paul Groom there. There's not many boat owners that will jump in on a young guy's mistake. So thanks for that.
I mean, not just one mistake, but several mistakes. I mean, seriously. I mean, what the saying was with Nick that he can probably start a lawnmower better than a yacht race, which is not great when you're the helm of a match racing team.
Yeah, well, he was very careful the next week to stay away from all the marks and the start line.
Yeah, the following week, then we just couldn't even race at all.
I think that was the week. Was that the week that I actually was on board live streaming, and like we actually checked out what was going on at the back of the fleet every race?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yep.
They're just a lot heavier than what we're used to. I think is the big problem, eh?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Is everyone frozen?
The audio's good. Audio's good.
We can hear you.
Hang on.
The other thing with those boats
is
there's no space in the boat, so you have to kind of nail everything.
Can you guys still hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear us?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you sound normal. Everyone sounds normal.
All looks good.
I can't hear anyone.
Can you not? Do we just carry on the yarn without you, Sue Ellen?
Oh yeah, go for it now. I've got your back. Go for it. Sorry about that.
All good.
All right, what did I ask?
We're just still on the conversation of Stewarts and how awesome they are to sail.
Oh, that's right. No. We talked about when I was on board live streaming and we were at the back of the fleet.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a full scenic tour of the back of the Stuart fleet, which was nice.
Nice little harbour cruise of the west side of the bridge that day, I think, as well, Nick.
It was a pretty heinous day, I have to say, out in the water. It was quite stressful. But, what are you going to do? It's all part of it, and you've got to experience the back of the fleet as much as the front of the fleet, don't you think?
Great day on the Princess.
Absolutely. So, guys, if the world was normal, and if everything was all going to plan still and we were all off doing these great things around the world, we would have just finished the Congressional Cup. Well, hopefully, if you had a qualified. What would have been the next event for you guys?
We'd be heading off to Bermuda to do the Argo Gold Cup, which was meant to be 10 days after the Congressional Cup in Long Beach. So we'd probably be heading over to New York right now and getting to some training and doing the Gold Cup soon.
We would have been on our way to right now. We would have been on our way to the FICA Cup. Congressional Cup's later.
The Con Cup was going to be later this year.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, the Con Cup's later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We would have been heading over to the FICA Cup to qualify for the Congressional Cup, or to try and qualify.
Which was next week, which is actually meant to be next week.
Correct.
And then
we'd be doing the Open Keelboat Nationals.
We would be on the start line right now. Well, maybe you guys wouldn't have been because Nick's shit at starting, but maybe. But we would have been. We would have been. First race would have been what? It was either 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning, wasn't it?
Yeah. We'd have either been on our way out or just started.
So we've actually, last year you guys won the Open Keelboat Nationals, the Thielen Open Keelboat Nationals, which was quite a fun regatta actually. Should I dig out that video and we play that one?
Oh, bring it on.
Go on then. You're gonna do it anyway.
Look, there's sometimes there's just things that you need to do. So what I might do is you guys just chat amongst yourselves and talk about the memories of the Keelboat Nationals, and I'll get this one ready to download.
Yeah, I remember drinking a lot of milk that week. Feeling, big milk company, and we drank a lot of milk that week.
I think it was Sue Ellen taking 5 takes of us having to drink the same carton of milk.
Do you think I did any of that deliberately?
Certainly.
I mean, 100%. It's always deliberate, right? To make you guys do these additional takes on things.
I'm surprised none of us threw up, because we would have no joke been drinking like 3 liters of that milk a day, just trying to get shots here.
Well, I mean, it's all part of it, and it's really important to make sure that you support sponsors. Yeah. And for us, we were trying to support a sponsor who was putting funds into sailing, which is going to be something that we're really going to need to support moving forward for all of us to keep going. So, drinking a little excess milk in one day surely isn't a bad thing.
Thielen's like a new sponsor for the club, so it was good to kind of make them feel really welcome and feel included in what we were doing. And they actually signed on again to be the National Keelboat title sponsor this year. So it was good that we spent a bit of time and built that relationship.
Hey, just speaking about the stewards again, your mate Paul Groom has just chimed in and has said that you guys are all going to get boats and do the Sands Triple Series this year in Stewart 34s.
Oh, cheeky. I could be keen.
That'd be a challenge.
I mean, so there's 4 of you, 2 boats. Who's going to go with who?
Oh, good question.
Who would know?
I guess we're just lucky dip it each time, right?
Throw it out of a hat. Put my name on the short straw.
Yeah.
All right. So we're just going to just have a look at this Thielen National Keelboat Championship video and just see how much milk you guys consumed whilst doing a yacht race.
Oh, here we go.
Rather than a harbour race at the end, we're going to do 4 windward lewards. We're going to race as hard as we can. Any questions? If not, forever hold your peace, and we'll see you out there for a 955 first signal. I hope.
Green.
Okay, cheers, guys. Cheers, mate. Have a good day sailing.
Thank you.
Welcome to the 2019 Feeling Keelboat National Championships. We're looking forward to a great weekend on the water with lots of tight racing and lots of feline milk.
Oh, goodness gracious me. There's a lot of milk that was consumed during the making of that video.
Too much. It was great to win all the milk, though. I remember coming home with bottles of the stuff. It was awesome.
It was actually pretty good. It was a great regatta.
Yeah, I loved it.
Okay, so here's a question that has just come through. This one is for EJ. Why, as a young Opti sailor, EJ, how did you get the nickname, the Silent Assassin?
That one came from you, Brownie, I think, way back when I was 13. I think I was known as just being real shy and not talking to anyone, but so I think that's the name he gave me. He can maybe explain that in the comments if he wants.
So that he was the one that asked the question how you got the nickname the Silent Assassin.
Yeah. Was that Brownie?
That was Brownie. Yep.
Yeah. I think he hasn't quite explained that one to me yet either, so you'll have to run that one through me.
It's not like Nick's silent either.
Hasn't explained.
So a couple of other little random questions that we've got coming out here. So how much do each of you weigh?
Who's going first?
Around 84 kilo at the moment.
Yeah, I'm sitting on 84, 85 at the moment.
Yeah, I'm 75.
I'm on 82 at the moment.
Wow, guys, you're huge.
Yeah. Big rucksack.
Still underweight though. Still underweight.
Now, I mean, for you guys as a team, obviously, like team dynamics is quite massive to be a successful team. Tell us how you guys overcome any potential issues or fallouts that you might have as a team. I mean, how do you deal with those?
I think a lot of it actually comes back to how close we are as a team. We've been through a lot already, so we can always rely on our relationships, and we kind of know how each other are going to deal with a lot of situations already. So we know the best ways to approach people. You know, you need to let Bradley have his little rant.
He likes to do that often, doesn't he?
Yeah, and then he's happy. You know, if you argue back too much with it, then it'll turn into something more, you know? So.
I guess it all comes back from making sure that the guys are in your team are people that you all understand really well and get along with, so that if you do have conflict, you can sort it out real quick and effectively. We have had little to no conflict over the past 2.5 years, which I think is a true credit, and probably one of the reasons why we are starting to do pretty well as a team. So I think that's super important.
So when you guys have a bad day, a bad result, and you don't do well for whatever reason, how do you guys cheer each other up and sort of get each other back to the level that you need to be going into the next day?
Don't say it.
Just remember that we've got kids watching, so be careful.
You just gotta regroup at the end of the day. Go out for dinner with each other, or have a good cook up, and you got to move on from your mistakes, I guess. And it's nobody's perfect, so I think it's one of those. If you have a bad day, it's just keep looking forwards on what you've got to achieve and what you've got to change to make it happen. And I think we're quite lucky as a team that we all kind of want the same thing out of it, and so we all come back together and give it a go the next day.
Yeah,
You just got to have a routine with it as well. You know what you do as a team after that kind of day, and how you're going to move on, and you get good at doing that. And
if you always have that growth mindset where you're always trying to improve, even if you have a good result or a bad result, you kind of do the same things anyway,
Nick, you're a bit quiet on this little discussion.
Yeah, so I was thinking about what we actually do.
So basically just hug it out and pat each other on the back and go like, let's just get into it tomorrow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We quite often make pancakes if we have a bad result.
Yeah, that can help.
Yeah, pancakes work. So why did you guys decide to go down that match racing path?
I think a lot of it is just that it's exceptionally fun. Like the racing is so cool. Going head to head with another team and just having a real battle, and that was a big part of it. Another part of it is you learn a really good set of skills match racing. You learn a lot about boat handling and teamwork and about decision making and tactics, and that kind of skills that you can transfer to a whole range of different boats because you're sailing different boats all the time. And I think it was kind of an opportunity for us to kind of aim towards professional sailing and build up our skills as much as we could in a short period of time.
Yeah.
So you guys, sorry, Nick, you go.
I think that a lot of us see ourselves aspiring to professionally sail on bigger keel boats. And I think that the dinghies and stuff, you just don't get the skills that you require on bigger keel boats. So the match racing is really good in the sense that it prepares you really well for professional sailing further down the track.
And on the other side of that, I think the skills that we learnt doing a lot of dinghy sailing as we were growing up have made us better at match racing and better as a team, and improved how quickly we started up as well. So they cross over and they kind of add up. We're all still doing a bit of dinghy sailing too.
So what kind of sailors do you guys want to be when you do grow up?
Well-rounded. I think something that the match racing teaches you is, you have to sail with a lot of different people, a lot of different kinds of boats and things. So I think if we can just continue to improve, or for me personally, if I can just continue to improve and be a well-rounded sailor, able to jump onto any boat, any team, and make an impact, I'll be really happy.
So do you want to, like for you, Zach, is your path, are you trying to go down to the America's Cup path, or do you want to do offshore keelboat racing, or do you just want to get into the pro circuit?
Yeah, ultimately, like America's Cup's, I think, all of our dream. So that's something we're all working towards and trying to prepare ourselves for best. But any yachting's good. Any day on the water is a good day. So any professional yachting would be living the dream, really.
I think after a couple of years on the Olympic circuit where you just have one specific focus, I think we adjusted our mindset a bit to be more about like a development of skills mindset, trying to become as good as we can at yachting and at all the different kind of parts of yachting. And that's going to give us opportunities. And with those opportunities, you find new and bigger goals all the time. But the kind of the bigger picture, what's in the back of your head every day is, how do I get better, rather than having one specific event or team that's the only important thing in your life.
So Sam, what's the end goal for you with your sailing? Where do you want to end up?
I suppose the same, the America's Cup for New Zealand. That would be the ultimate yachting achievement.
Nick?
Yeah, I'm the same. Just being able to sail professionally for a career. I think that's everybody's kind of dream, and yeah, obviously ever since a young kid, sailing the America's Cup's always been something to aspire to. So keep working on it, and hopefully we can make it all happen.
Cool. And so, Bradley, is your dream to sail for an America's Cup team based out of the UK?
I think obviously it'd be great to sail for a British team, but I think like most of us would agree that to sail for any America's Cup team would be insane. You know, all those teams that are going through it at the moment they're all very well respected in their own regard, and I think that to get a call up to any team like that is an awesome achievement. And same with any professional world. You know, you don't have to just sail for your home country. You know, I guess I'm a bit of a traitor to my country coming and sailing with these boys. You know, and I think, but it shows. You know, I think you got to go where the sailing where you think's gonna go well for you, and take whatever opportunities you can. So you don't restrict yourself to your own country as well.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I haven't restricted myself. I mean, I'm over here in New Zealand as well. So I mean, you guys have had a pretty good, 12 months or so on the results board, which has left you guys currently ranked second in the world. And you've got to travel to some pretty amazing places around the world as well. Can you tell us which particular regatta over the last 12 months was a real highlight for you guys?
For me, the highlight in the past 12 months was definitely winning the Governor's Cup in Newport Beach, California. We think it's probably one of the most prestigious youth match racing events there is in the world. We came up against Leonard Takahashi from Squatty as well in the finals, and had an epic final, and it went to 5 races, and we just got him in the last one, and it was super cool feeling to come up against someone as good as Leonard in the finals and just take the win. So we were super stoked.
It was pretty good. We've actually got Len on next Wednesday night as well, chatting about his sailing with Nathan Outeridge. So we should ask him how he feels about that particular result. You also had a pretty good one in Germany. You had a pretty good. Can you see that?
Yeah.
A pretty good result, which this is how it ended up at prize giving. Tell us about this particular regatta.
Yeah, so that was our first grade 1 win. So we were racing on Lake Constance in the south of Germany, kind of near the Swiss border, and we were sailing some incredible boats. The Bavaria 40s, which weighed like 9.5 tons. They had 2 bathrooms, a kitchenette, a stove, a walk-in wardrobe, and we were trying to match race them, just the 5 of us, so us 4 and Timmy. And Lake Constance is famous for having very light winds, very patchy winds, so keeping the boat of that size moving and maneuverable was a huge challenge. Yeah, we had a really good battle over the week. We didn't start off as the top team in the regatta, but we improved a lot through the week and started to learn about how to keep pace on and how to manage the maneuvers versus the speed cost. And by the finals, we were firing and managed to take down Eric Monin, it's his home lake, and he's the world #1 and was the defending champion. So that was a pretty epic feeling, and the big celebration afterwards from the beer sponsor, and yeah, we had a great time that week.
Good stuff. You guys have had some pretty amazing experiences throughout your match racing career. And what advice would you give to any young up-and-coming sailors who want to get into match racing? I'll start with you, EJ.
I think just definitely getting involved with the Squadron's youth training program is a really good first step. And the other main thing is just don't burn any bridges with any of the other sailors that you're sailing with at the moment, especially when you're young, because you don't know in 5 years down the track when that person's looking for a team that you guys could be a good match for a team. So it's all about just having a nice big group of friends and just getting along well with everyone, and that'll do you really well.
Interesting you mentioned that, because you and I didn't get off on the right foot to start out, did we?
No, not quite.
I thought, who is this little brat?
Still think that, don't you?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Still think that.
Oh, yeah, occasionally. But no, I think that's a really good point is, definitely make sure you don't burn any bridges and, be nice to everybody and, respect everybody on an equal playing field because you never know where you might end up. You could be side by side on the rail or somebody controlling the media for your team.
It's pretty spot on, that is.
It's lucky we get on well, isn't it, lads?
Certainly.
Cool. So what is the biggest thing that you're most excited to do when you get out of lockdown and we're allowed to go sailing again? What do you guys want to do?
Go yachting, get on the water.
So you're all going to get out and sail your moths together?
That's the plan. Pretty
Respecting
excited.
social distancing, of course.
Well, you can social distance on a moth quite well. Just don't tack on top of each other and don't capsize on each other.
Yeah, exactly.
The capsizing bit we can't practice. We can't confirm to you yet. I think, especially for me, I think I'll be capsizing on everybody quite a lot at the moment. So we can't.
So I have
guarantee that one.
actually heard that, Bradley, that you spend more time in the water than you do on the moth. Is that true?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I've taken a lot of swimming lessons, but you got to start somewhere.
So why did you guys all decide to go down the moth path?
I think you look at the America's Cup and the way that it's all going at the moment, and we really need to be spending as much time foiling as we can. So I think the moth is definitely the best kind of training tool for that kind of sailing. So yeah, we're really trying to get stuck into it as much as we can. And with all the international events being cancelled this year, obviously no regattas for us. So it's actually a really great time for us just to get stuck into building on our moth skills as much as we can. So a little bit of a positive out of this whole situation, but it's good.
I think it's a great class as well as far as your development goes. I got into it not on the basis of going to win a Worlds, but for me, I'm mostly a keelboat sailor, was to develop my dinghy racing skills, but also to have your own project. It's a development class, so you're always upgrading your boat. There's always something that you can do to make the boat go faster. And also, you go to regattas and where you look at the Moth Worlds this year, Tom Slingsby won it, Carl Langford second, our own Graham Sutherland was up in the top 20. The variety of sailors that come out of the professional sailing world to go and race them is so big that it's such a strong class to get involved in at the moment.
Some legends on the startup list for those particular regattas, and you guys are going to add yourselves to that list as well.
One day, hopefully.
Aiming high. Good stuff. Hey, look, guys, it's been really great chatting with you this morning about Knots Racing, how you guys got your name, King Nick on the Stick Racing, and and hearing about the other sailing and the fun events that you guys have had over the last 12 months. Bradley, to you, just a massive thank you for all the great work that you're doing over there at New World Birkenhead, keeping everybody stocked up with their groceries and doing all the deliveries that you're doing around the place too.
Always a pleasure, Sue Ellen. Actually quite enjoying a change in life. Who knows, it could be me. I could be giving up my sailing career and going a delivery drive for the rest of my life. I quite enjoy it. So.
Also want to say a massive thank you to you, Sue Ellen, for hosting us and inviting us, giving us the opportunity to share what we're doing, and also for all your support over the last year and being involved with our team and supporting us and promoting us and coming on tour with us. So cheers.
Yeah, I tell you what, it was eye-opening. Thank you, Sam. It's been great getting supporting a team, and if there's any other teams out there who would like to have an opportunity like those that have Knots Racing through Live Sail Die, just get in touch, and we'd be more than happy to have a discussion and see what we can do. Guys, is there anyone else that you'd like to thank? Your sponsors?
I think obviously thanks to you and Live Sail Die, the squadron, for all the help that they give us, the performance program, the Foiling Family, East Imperial, Musto, Emirates, obviously our parents for helping us out when times get tough on the money and getting us into the sport in the first place. I don't know who else I've missed.
It'd also be, like to thank Paul Groom and Charles and Guy for lending us their stewards to train on as well. That's been a big help to us.
EJ, Zach, anything to add to that?
No, those boys nailed it. Just a big thanks to all those mentioned.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right. Hey, guys, thank you so much for being here this morning. It's been an absolute pleasure. A few little giggles, and we probably bit our tongue a little bit more than we would have liked. But, this is an early morning segment on a Saturday. So well done on showing and showcasing all the stuff that you guys have been doing. It's been great.
Awesome. Thank you, Alan.
All right, so up next, we're just going to confirm the time, but we've got the crew of Rantan 2 who were on a delivery from Auckland to LA, and unfortunately the boat was lost not far from making it to their destination. So we've got the guys who were on board that boat, plus the boat owner, who we're going to be having a chat with about all the events that led up to, unfortunately, the loss of one of New Zealand's most favourite racing boats, the Elliott 50 Rantan 2. And pretty sure we're going to do that one on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday night at 8 p.m, we've got Len Takahashi and Nathan Outeridge from Sail GP Japan, who are going to spin some yarns about the sailing that those guys are doing. They're following a pretty impressive lineup here. We've just had a comment that we need an after 9 p.m. version of this chat.
Who wants that?
That'd be so dangerous.
No, we do not. Let's just leave it there. All right, guys. Hey, enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and best of luck for any of your upcoming sailing. Stay safe, stay at home, stay in level 4 until we're allowed to break free.
Thanks, Sue Ellen.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
No worries, guys. See ya.
See you later. Bye.